admitted we were powerless over our survival of our childhood sexual abuse, and our lives become completely unmanageable as a direct result. Some of us are aware always, some of us are blessed with denial for years, some of us are aware but in denial of the survival methods. Some are aware but carry on with knowing no other way of getting through the day except just to survive, cope, and manage the unmanageable. Bill Wilson wrote, "Who cares to admit complete, practically known. For many of us, it is the loss of a loved one. Sometimes For many of us, the loss of a loved one, some of the seemingly unattainable joy of companionship. For all of us, it is the hope to trust. The hope to trust and be trusted, and most of all, to be able to be worthy of both. Our trusts have been broken, has set up the repeatable self-defeating and self-destructive patterns of just surviving. We are lost. We have gone through life observing and mimicking others, hoping to find a set of values and lifestyle which would bring us the unattainable goal of peace of mind, peace of soul, but mostly just to be loved for who we are, to be accepted, and to come to terms with those who we will first need to meet ourselves for the first time and experience ourselves as others have endured us for years. Hard to do when the bravado we have put on for years and years finally starts to easier. Hard to do when the bravado we've put on for years and years finally starts to weigh. The dangers of our low self-esteem are forever there on the surface, now exposing the raw hurt of days, months, years, or in many cases decades. When we surrender, we face the fact that what we do, just simply put, no longer works. The code of survival is shed for the courage to finally face life and make decisions, revel our successes, and learn from our mistakes. We cannot start to grow until we accept the devastating truth of our situation, which is that it just no longer works for us. As the alcoholic many times says during his last drunk, I could just not get enough of the alcohol in me to take away the pain. No matter how much he drank, it simply did not work or do for me what it once did. The pain remained. We are helpless, we stand defeated, and ready to accept what we see with the comfort that we are no longer alone. We have reached out, we have written an email, confided in a friend, we have told a stranger, we have disclosed to a loved one, but mostly we have broken our silence. It may come out in an irrational explosion of anger, unbearable grief, or debilitating depression. The success is the silence has been broken. A scream, a whisper, but we were heard. Hopefully to trusting ears, but do not discourage if you have had some setbacks because of your disclosure. Perhaps it was not well received. We can take the positive out in knowing that the shame which has kept us in silence is not our own. The shame is a collective consciousness of society as a whole for having not protected us and for having not cared. The shame is theirs. The shame is the abusers. Society failed, and our only fault was in the wanting of our most basic needs for attention to be met. The wanting of attention, love, is not a failure. It may now be our saving grace, our driving force, and finally finding, after struggles and searching, that we are not alone. That is now able to be us where we once stood. would step forward and see the lives of those who have gone before us and made the path just a little bit wider. The job of widening and clearing the path has begun in the discovery of the new possibilities of the new freedoms, and telling our stories has, when done so to an empathetic, listening, present human being. My hope is to come to the realization, I may already be one, in my own hindsights, because I am. There was crazy things going on around us, and we made sense of them, and survived until now, I admit. That was my version of a step one for my childhood sexual abuse, and that's my version of reading it in case the written stuff didn't read that well. It didn't read that well to me, so there you go.